Okay, so this is a video showcasing what Dr. Steelhammer refers to as baby's first unblockable. It's what he says is the easiest unblockable to learn. Generally, that's the case. The thing that's great about this is that it's applicable on a lot of characters, even more than the traditional unblockable that you see people use with the charge partition in it. This works on a wider amount of the cast than that. It doesn't do as much damage, it's not as efficient, but it's a great thing to get you started, and it's relatively universal. The reason I'm making this video is because there are some kind of nuances to each character. So I'm going to go over that here. There's a few characters I'll talk about at the end that it doesn't work on. But all this is kind of based on Dr. Steelhammer's existing videos. I guess this is just something that I wanted to make because I knew after learning unblockables from his unblockable video, which I'll link below, I found that even though I learned how to do this unblockable, it is different on a lot of different characters. So I've kind of been drilling it over quarantine because I can't play with my friends. So I thought maybe I'd be able to pass that along to you guys. And maybe if you guys see any errors or better ways to do the things that I'm doing, I'd love for you to point them out and let me know what I can do better. Thanks.
Shotos all work the same. Here I'm doing a Kuma. I've noticed that if you let him fall a little bit before you hit him with the tackle, it actually works a little bit better. And Steelhammer pointed out to me that light kick tackle in the beginning is the best because it kind of pops them up to hit the mirror. I do that on basically everyone. So here you'll see my inputs if you want, but I'm doing a light kick tackle in the beginning, and then I kick him into the mirror. You can also universal overhead if you want, but yeah, you want them to fall a little bit so they pop up a little bit more, but that's the same on every Shoto. Next up is the mirror match against Urien. He's actually really forgiving. You can kind of do, whatever you want. There's a lot of leniency. You can hit him at different heights. You can hit him high. You can hit him kind of in the middle spot. With him, I like to do the universal overhead, but you can kick him as well. Really, either one works. But you'll see here, I hit him pretty low that time, and I still got under. And then this time, yeah, so I'm hitting him like really, really low just to show how lenient it is. Okay, Necro is very, very strange. You have to have him fall kind of far for it to work. If you hit him high up, he'll bounce right off the mirror. The other thing is he's kind of a wide stance, so when he stands up, you can hit him with the universal overhead even when you're not quite all the way to the mirror. You'll notice you don't have enough time to kick him into the mirror. He's got to be one of the weirdest ones to do this on. So what I do is I dash twice and I do the universal overhead, and if you time it right, it'll hit him just as he's standing up, and he'll be wide enough that it'll hit the mirror. You'll kind of see what I mean here. And you've got him all the way to the mirror, so if he tries to wake up with something, he's already getting hit by the mirror anyway. Okay, here's a little extra credit for Necro. There's a few characters you can kind of do this on that are viable, but it's still kind of a gamble because they're not all the way to the mirror, they can reversal if they decide they want to. Obviously Necro, he'd have to be SA1 or something. But basically what's happening is you can do a ping pong if you just do one dash. With Necro, I've noticed that one dash doesn't put you in the right spot, so I kind of just walk a little bit. It's kind of strange. It's not really that viable, but it looks kind of cool. So yeah, you can just walk a little bit, and then you can do a ping pong, and then you can get another one if you want. Okay, Alex, you have to hit him really high. You'll notice when I do this that I'm hitting him pretty much as soon as I can with the tackle. I still do a light kick tackle. You can do medium kick tackle if you want, but I find light kick tackle works a little bit better. But Alex is kind of tough because if you wait too long and you hit him too low, he'll either not bounce on the mirror or he'll bounce too high, and then you'll hit him when you tackle him. But you'll see I'm hitting him like pretty much right away. You'll see he's pretty high up. His fall animation is kind of weird. You see his feet come in contact with you right away. He looks really wonky to do this on. Remy is also a little weird. I mean, I guess everybody's kind of a little bit different, but the problem with Remy is it's really hard to get the universal overhead to work on him. You'll notice if I can, I usually kick people just because it's a little bit easier. With him, the fall animation is especially weird because his feet kind of fall way later and his head falls first, which means he's farther away from you. But you do want to wait a little while. You want to wait till his head is kind of just above the ground. You probably want to watch it a couple of times, but It's a weird timing. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but once you do, it's not bad. It's just kind of, his fall animation is so strange that it's kind of jarring to look at and get the timing figured out. Q is another very easy one, a lot like the Urien mirror. You can kind of do whatever you want. He falls so slowly and so strangely that he has plenty of time to bounce off the mirror. You have plenty of time to get him over to the mirror. I kick him into it. You can do universal overhead. You can do a lot of things, but yeah, he's pretty easy to beat up on. You'll see here that it's pretty lenient. You've got a lot of time. This is a great character to learn on, I think, just to get the inputs figured out. It's super lenient. I think him and Urien are probably among the easiest. Chun is a character you have to approach a little bit differently. She actually, I feel that I get her to the mirror with more time to spare than other characters, just because of the way her fall arc is. So if you do like the towards medium kick right away, it won't hit her because she'll still be on the ground, but it will put her into the right position. So it's fine. It works to do it that way. What I do usually is I do kind of a delayed universal overhead as she's waking up. I'll show it here. You can do either one. You can kick or universal overhead. Just know that you have to wait a little bit. You dash twice and then you kind of hang out for just a split second. You'll see it when I do it. It's a little different than other characters. And her, you want to catch at kind of a medium level. You don't want to hit her right away, but you don't want her to fall too far. It takes a little bit of work to get used to, but it's not that bad. Makoto is very similar to Chun, almost exactly the same. She's a little bit more forgiving with where you can actually hit her in regards to her height. You can hit her higher up or a little bit lower. The other thing about her is I'm kind of going to showcase this time doing the kick method. You'll notice you have a lot of time to do it, and it kind of looks different than when you do it to other characters. She's on the ground a lot longer. And you'll see I'm hitting her at a pretty medium level, but yeah, the kick happens before she actually stands up, but it moves her right into place, so it works fine. You can obviously universal overhead here if you prefer. So as you would expect, 12 is really weird. One of the weirdest characters to do this on. The problem with 12 is you have to wait quite a while to actually hit him with the tackle. You want him to fall kind of low. The other problem with him, you can hit him high, it just kind of is weird in my experience. The other big problem with him is you don't have enough time to kick him into a mirror. It just doesn't work. I'll kind of show it here. This is the cleanest I could get it, but you have to be really, really fast to do it. And even then, it's not clean. He can get up. I mean, you can see there's time in there for him to do something. Normally, what you would do in that situation instead is do a universal overhead. The problem here is if you do a universal overhead on 12, it will side switch with him. I don't know why. It's very weird. But what I'm doing instead is I'm doing a light kick and then just walking him into the mirror. It looks really stupid, but it's the only really effective way I can find to do this. So you'll notice you can just hit him with a light kick and then you just keep walking him into the mirror. It takes a little bit of getting used to because it's kind of strange, but it works reasonably well. So yeah, that's how I do that anyway. Dudley, in my opinion, is the hardest by far to do this on. The problem with him is that you cannot kick him into the mirror, and you kind of can't do the universal overhead either. The problem with this is that he falls really, really fast. So it's both hard on the tackle end, but also it means that he gets up faster than anyone else. To add to this, the other problem with Dudley is he really bounces hard off the mirror for some reason. So Steelhammer suggested doing the light kick method. It's similar to what I did on 12. I kind of used his idea there, but you'll see it works a lot differently and in a lot of ways. And it's also just like really, really tight timing, and he can reversal out if you screw it up at all. So like this is pretty sloppy, but you can kind of see just how hard it is to do this. He falls really strangely, and also just like he really bounces off that mirror a lot. So if you're not on that other launcher right away, he can, mash out an EXDP or something. It's really tricky. I'm not really, master of it by any means. So I would say spend some time with it. I haven't spent as much time as I should, but it's going to be something that I'm going to work on. Yeah, he's really challenging to do it on. He's a weird character. Hugo's super easy, maybe the easiest in the entire game. Right up there with Q and Urien. What's different about Hugo is you can basically do whatever you want. You can hit him at almost any height. You can hit him with almost any normal to walk him into the mirror. You could just almost walk him down. I mean, he's so slow, to get up because of how weird the bounce is. you have infinite time to get him over to the mirror. This would be, I would say it'd be a good one to start on, but his body is so strange that it really doesn't translate well to the other characters in the cast. But yeah, try it out. It's very easy. Very simple one to get to.
Okay, so that was everybody. You'll notice that I was missing some characters. The twins, it doesn't work on the twins. It doesn't work on Ibuki. It doesn't work on Oro. And I believe that it doesn't work on Elena. I've heard talk that it does, but she's so strange because her hitbox on her box is moving all the time. And also, she bounces really, really low, so you run into her with the tackle every time. Maybe there's a way to do it, but the important thing is, I guess, hopefully this is helpful to you. I kind of went over, like, at least my findings in trying this Unblockable on all these different characters. Let me know what you find out. If you have a better way to do any of these, I'd love to hear it, because I'm trying to figure it out too. But thanks, guys.